Okay. We were discussing pressure, right? So, so
We were discussing pressure. Let's recall. sorry. एक और क्वेश्चन करते हैं लास्ट, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट टॉपिक पे चलते हैं. सपोज there's a tank, इसमें जो इसमें फिल्ड है वाटर इज फिल्ड इन, राइट. मास ऑफ टैंक इज नेग्लिजिबल. Mass of tank is negligible. Calculate pressure applied exerted by tank on surface. Given density of water is 1000 kg per meter. We have already done this question. Let us do a similar question again. Do it. Got the answer? Sorry, Sachit, got the answer?
10 to the power 4 Pascal.
Okay, I could not hear. So let's solve. So first to calculate volume of water. Volume of water is what? Length into width into height. The water stored up to depth height of 8 meters. So 10 into 10 into 8. That is 800 meter cube. Now calculate mass of water. Mass of water along with tank, because tank is of negligible mass. Mass of water is volume into density. Volume of water is 100 meter cube, density is 1000. So 8 into 10 raised to 5 kg is mass of water. So weight of water is what? Weight of water. Weight of water is m into g. So 8 into 10 raised to 5 into nearly 10. 8 into 10 raised to 6. Now, question is pressure. Pressure is what? Force per unit area. What is base area of the tank? Base area is 10 into 10. That is 100 meter square. So, base area is known. Now what? Now, pressure. So, pressure is force by area. 8 into 10 raised to 6 upon 100. That is 80,000 Newton per meter square. That is 80,000 pascals. That's the answer. Right? Achha, one interesting thing which you should note from here is, which we'll need in next topic. Volume is what? Volume is area into height. You do LBH. So L into B is area only, na? So area into height is this. Mass is area into height into density. Volume into density. Weight is mass into gravity. AHDG. Then pressure is again weight by area. So area gets cancelled, no? See? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is what we are supposed to note. In next topic we'll need it. Okay. So why pressure is word was needed? Why pressure word is needed? Force alone could not answer few questions. For example, cutting, shear effect and all, right? So where do we use this word pressure? Some of the examples in our daily life where we see the application of this concept of pressure. The first one, needle. If you see the needle, which is used to pierce, say, needle which is used to pierce the skin. If you see, it has a very sharp tip. No, needle has a very sharp tip, so it easily pierces the skin. Even if you apply a very small force, a very little force with the help of that needle, it easily pierces the skin. If I try to pierce my skin with this marker, even if I apply a large force, I'll not be able to pierce my skin, right? Reason, again, piercing means what? You have to cut the skin. So for cutting the skin, we don't need force. We need intensity of force, that is distribution of force, or pressure. So in needle, tip of the needle is so small, area is very small. So even a small force will produce a large pressure. If a small force is applied over that small area, it will result in large pressure. And pressure is what is responsible for cutting or shear of something, right? So this is one place where we see the application of pressure, right? Now, if you have seen the strap of a bag, the strap of a bag has a flat strap, right? It's flat, right? There's a flat strap and handle of a bag. Why is it? So that when you lift it from that handle, if the bag handle is not flat, instead it is thin, it will exert more pressure on our fingers. If I lift a bag whose strap is very thin, so force acting per unit area, the area of the strap is less as it is thin. So the force acting on the fingers, pressure acting on the fingers would be large, and it might be painful or it might hurt, right? So what we do is we use a flat strap. The bag handle will have a flat strap, which is used to from where we lift it, right? Right now?
Yes, sir.
If you observe a coolie, he places a piece of cloth, a rolled piece of cloth, before he keeps a baggage on his head. If you observe a coolie, he rolls or folds a piece of cloth and places it over his head before he keeps the baggage. That is again when he tries. Again, he tries to increase the area over which that baggage load is distributed. If he keeps the baggage directly over his head, so it will be, the load will be distributed in a very small area. Load will be distributed in a very small area of his head. So that might be painful for him. So what he does is he keeps a piece of cloth so that the load of the baggage gets distributed over a large area of his head, and hence pressure decreases. And once pressure decreases, well, it's pressure which is going to hurt, right? Or it might cut the skin or something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
So these are some examples in our daily life where we apply the concept of pressure, right? And there are many other examples also. Footing of a building. If there's a building, if you see a column on which the loads are transferred to the ground, if this be the column of the building, right, you will observe when this column is placed on the ground, it has a widespread footing. We call it footing. Area which is much more larger than that of the column. Why? Because when the load is transferred to the ground, it should be distributed over larger area. It should not be distributed in a smaller area. Otherwise, it will shear the soil and the building might sink in the ground, right? So, to avoid the settlement, they provide a widespread footing below the column. And again, there are many more examples, right? If you read the textbooks, they might have mentioned many examples where in our daily life where we apply the concept of pressure, right? Okay. I'll close this topic here. Now, next is hydrostatic pressure. Yeah, pressure in fluids first, I'll say. Pressure in fluids. Let's discuss. And this is a real confusing topic. Pressure in fluids. Pressure in fluids. See, what is fluid? Fluid is anything which flows. What is fluid? Fluid is anything which flows. For example, liquid. Liquid is a fluid. Why? Liquid flows. Then gas. Gas is also a fluid. Why? Because even it flows. So gas flows as well as liquid flows. So liquid and gases together are known as fluids. In fact, anything which flows is known as fluid. Right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
anything which flows is known as fluid. To your surprise, even glass is a fluid. It's the most viscous fluid. Right? It flows at very, 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 very slow rate. So it appears solid to us, but actually it is a fluid.
Liquid.
Right? Okay. So fluid means what? Anything which flows is known as fluid. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose there is a tank. This is a section of the tank, front of the tank, which has some liquid in it. Let us say water. Suppose there is a water stored in it. Right? Now, we have already solved problems where we have measured pressure exerted by the bottom of the tank on the ground. We have already solved questions where we have measured pressure exerted by the bottom of the tank or the tank on the ground, right? Now, forget about this. Now, I'm not talking about ground. Now, let's discuss the pressure which the fluid or the liquid exerts on bottom of the tank. Forget about that ground. Let us consider this tank. If I consider bottom of the tank, let's check. So, some water is filled in this tank, right? There's some water in the tank. Now, the weight of the water acts on the bottom of the tank. Agree? Weight of the water inside the tank acts on the bottom of the tank. Do you agree to this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So weight is force. The entire weight of this water tank we see is acting at the bottom of the tank, and bottom of the tank has some area. Bottom of the tank has some area, right? So this weight of the water distributed over this area of the tank, this area is pressure of this water column or water inside the container. So when I say pressure exerted by fluid in the container on the bottom of the tank. This is the topic, bottom of the tank. In the previous discussion, we have discussed, pressure exerted by the tank on the ground. Now I am discussing something else. This time I am discussing pressure exerted by the water on the bottom of the tank, right? ये टैंक के ऊपर जो टैंक का जो सरफेस है ना, उस पे जो प्रेशर बिल्ड हो रहा है, that we have to study. फिर टैंक खुद प्रेशर डालेगा ग्राउंड पे, that is a different story. We have already measured, right? So pressure exerted by water on the bottom of the tank. Okay. So this is what I'm interested in measuring, right? This is what we will study under this topic, pressure in fluids. We also call it hydrostatic pressure. Fluid is at rest, water is at rest, liquid is at rest. It exerts some pressure on the bottom of the tank. That pressure is also known as hydrostatic pressure. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, let's measure this. So suppose base area is A and section is uniform. Cross section area of the tank is uniform. Cross section of the tank. It's not like faces are not inclined, they are exactly vertical, right? So cross section area throughout is same. If you measure the base area, if it is A, area at the top is also A, area somewhere in between is also A. So cross section of the tank is uniform is equal to A. Height of the liquid, height of liquid above the bottom is H. Height of the liquid above the bottom is H. Okay. Density of liquid is D. Now, aim is what? To measure pressure at the bottom of the tank. So, question is, what will be pressure at the bottom of the tank? Now, I'll give you 2 minutes to think and try to find out. Then I'll explain. Pressure is?
Sir, pressure is BG.
BG. Something is missing. One more term is there. This they can ask in your school exams also. Okay, let me explain. Anyone else? Actually, I had just written on board. Okay,